Joining me now on this episode of Locally Sourced CP here in the awesome Sun Bowl Parade. Wait, Glasheen Valles and Inderman Injury Lawyer Sun Bowl Parade. Is that correct?
That is correct.
It's Mr. Joe Daubach.
Yes.
The special events director with the Sun Bowl.
Yes, sir.
Sir, how's it going today?
You know what? It's going great. Our days are numbered. We got about a week and maybe a day left, but we got to roll here.
Talk a little about, what you guys are doing. You guys are taking time out of your day to let me come interview and talk about what's going on here in the warehouse.
We really appreciate you coming out and giving a sneak peek to all these awesome floats. We've got some really fun and awesome floats that all kids of all ages are going to enjoy, as well as adults.
And any favorites of yours so far this year?
You know what? There's a lot of favorites here. The one right behind me is we're honoring Native American heroes through all the different wars, thanks to First Life Federal Credit Union. It's going to be a phenomenal float. We've got Alpha Insurance Services doing a circus float with a lot of clowns. It's amazing. We got El Paso Electric doing the fair, giant foods that you would buy at a fair. You got roller coasters and carousels.
Dang, roller coasters and carousels this year?
It is. The carousel spins, the chair swing spin. It's amazing floats here today.
Oh, I'm gonna have to ask if I can. I know Chef Aaron Sanchez is the Grand Marshal. How do I get that gig?
All you have to do is be a famous chef, and we'll have you as Grand Marshal.
Oh well, I don't know. I've been cooking pretty well, so you can ask my wife, and my nephew's here too today, so he might be able to help me out and make some pretty good food.
Yes. Hey, you know what? We'll talk about it next year.
All right, that sounds good. Just so you guys know, I'm open to being Grand Marshal next year, guys. So, talk a little bit. You guys, a lot of everyone here are volunteers, right?
They're all volunteers. We started back in April. The Sun Bowl Association has a committee of about 40 plus volunteers. So we started in the month of late March, early April, and we start dismantling all these floats from the last year's parade. And then we slowly start building them back up and building them. It seems like no matter how early you start, you come down to the last week and you're scrambling. So, I don't get it. We either start in July or start in April, and we're always at the same point a week out.
I always talk to you guys about the Sun Bowl and the game. A lot of people know now, hopefully, that it's not just the game. And then right after the game's done, you guys get back to work.
Right after the game, we're by the time we break down with the game, we're already starting for the next year's event. So it's never ending. But you know what? It makes it so much fun because we get to meet and work with so many different volunteers throughout the whole community.
We'll talk about the Glasheen Valles and Inderman Injury Lawyer Sun Bowl Parade happening Thanksgiving Day, starting at 10 a.m. Talk a little about some logistics. What people should know about the parade.
I say get there early. As always, traffic is always an issue. When you got 200,000 people in 3 miles, it becomes quite an issue. Dress for the weather and be able to peel off layers if it gets warm. Hopefully it'll get warm. And just have fun. This is all about family in history, and you build memories.
You beat me to it. It's a long-time tradition here in El Paso. I remember going to it as a little kid. We've taken the kiddos. It's been a while, but we've taken the kiddos before. It's a great tradition to pass on. And, have you been to almost all of them since you've been here with the Sun Bowl?
Well, I've been here 23 years, and yes, I've worked every one of them. So, yes, it's amazing. I get to talk to people the night before, and a lot of them are there like multi-generations. Like, hey, this is the spot where we've sat when I was a kid. Now my family is sitting here, and it goes on and on and on. And same with the volunteers. We have grandparents, then pass it down to kids and grandkids, and they just keep volunteering. It's an amazing event.
Is there anything that you like to talk about, especially with all the volunteers here, helping with the floats, the amazing work you guys do? It never ceases to amaze me every time I've come down here to check out your guys' work. Any little secrets that, you'd want to talk about how you guys do the floats and the amazing workman craftsmanship?
I'll tell you what, that's the secret. But I would like to say, what a lot of people don't understand, there's over 800 volunteers that come out and put the parade on every year. They're behind the scenes. For example, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they provide 600 volunteers to clean the entire parade route when the parade is over. You can only imagine how much trash 200,000 people produce. By the time the parade's over and within 30 minutes, you could never even tell that there was 200,000 people there. They do an amazing job, and that's just one of those unsung hero kind of jobs that it has to be done, and they do it, and they love it, and that's their community service project.
That's so awesome to hear. I didn't even know about that part with the 600 volunteers to clean up the streets. I've always wondered how they did that. Because I usually go to, people go to work next day and drive through that area, and it's like you said, nothing ever happened.
You don't ever think about something like that, and you're like, wow, everybody cleaned up after themselves. That's pretty cool. Most people do clean up after themselves, but the Latter-day Saints do an amazing job, and we couldn't do it without them.
That's so awesome. Joe, I appreciate you coming on, and again, the thanks, Glasheen Valles and Inderman Injury Lawyer Thanksgiving Parade, Sun Bowl Thanksgiving Parade. Did I get all right?
It's a mouthful, but yes, you got it correct.
No, I just want to make sure we hit all the correct sponsors, the correct wording. Thanksgiving morning starting at 10 a.m., correct?
That is correct. 10 a.m. right there between Ochoa and Copia.
So it starts over at Choa and ends over at Copia?
That's correct. So sit somewhere between those two spots. Obviously, the later you sit, the longer the parade will go. The earlier you sit in the parade, you'll be done quicker for Thanksgiving dinner.
Awesome. So get there early, right? Like you said?
Get there bright and early. Save your seat.
Cool. Joe, anything else you'd like to say, Arad, about the amazing floats you guys make, the amazing parade, the amazing stuff the Sun Bowl does that I like to miss, that you want to touch on and make sure everyone knows about?
I just tell you what, we couldn't do without all the volunteers because we are a volunteer-based organization. The parade alone is 800. The Sun Bowl Association alone is probably over 1,500. So, we are an institution that's been around 90 plus years. And of course, it's only because of the community is part of this. And we're one big happy family and everybody knows it.
Joe, I appreciate you joining me today. And as always, you're always not appreciative, but you're always so like letting me come in and giving me permission to come around and show around the cool stuff you guys do. And I just very much appreciate letting come in.
You know what? Thank you very much for coming out and letting people see behind the scenes and interviewing us and talking about the parade and the history. So it's individuals like you that get that word out that will educate people on what it takes to be part of an event like this.
Awesome. Yeah, I will make sure I put all the information in the description below. That way people know about where it goes, where it's about the Glasheen Valles and Inderman Injury Lawyers Sun Bowl Parade this Thanksgiving over between Ochoa and Copia, correct?
That is correct.
All right, and then I'll make sure I put all the information below. Joe, again, thank you so much for joining me, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, sir.